I don't study language to understand it, I study it to gut it. To tear open its smug, prissy facade and dig my hands wrist deep into its rancid entrails, until the stink of its lies clings to my skin like the reek of a Weatherspoon's carpet at closing time. Language isn't a tool, it's a parasite. A leering, pestilent thing that crawled out of some primordial bug of human desperation and latched onto our brains like a tick. Every syllable, a shackle forged in the smithy of dead men who thought their grubby little rules could civilize the void. Every grammar law, a cage welded shut by generations of pompous twats in powdered wigs sipping tea while they called their chains progress. Please, thank you, don't make me laugh. It's all rot dipped in clover honey and served on a silver platter at a Tory platter. You think you're speaking? No, mate. You're just regurgitating their poison, chewing on their rancid values like a cow cud, and calling it thought. And morality? Grace, don't get me started. Morality is a butcher's knife buffed to a shine and paraded around like the crown jewels. It's the stench of a week-old corpse stuffed with petrol station carnations. You want ethics, go lick the boots of whichever inbred aristocrat carved them into Westminster stone. They preach its truth, but scrape off the gilt and the crumples, just dust and dried blood, the leftovers of 1,000 spineless gits who'd shunk their own known if the Union Jack told them to. Principles? A scam. A street magician's trick. Wave a flag, chant God Save the King, and poof! Your guilt's gospel now. Your violence, virtue. Your bigotry, tradition. It's all a circus in it, a pantomime where the punchlines are written in graveyard. You want truth? Here's your truth. We're all just rats, not clever little sewer rats. Nah, fat, mange-riddled ones, gnawing at the moldy bones of dead ideas in some damp council flat of a civilization. And the joke's on us, mate. The feast we're slobbering over, it's our own rotting flesh. We're too thick to notice we're chewing on our own legs, trapped in a trap we built from the bones of everyone who dared to whisper, "This is bollocks." Language? Morality? They're just the footnotes in humanity's suicide note, scribbled in biro on a Greg's napkin, tossed into the Thames with the rest of the litter. And we'll keep at it, won't we? Keep polishing the knife, keep lapping up the lies, keep pretending the cage is a palace, right up until the day the whole bloody charade collapses into the sea like Brighton Pier in a storm. Cheers, though. Fancy a couple while the world burns. Integration? Segregation? Spare me your tidy little binaries, you sanctimonious brats. Both are cancers. Festering, maggot-riddled, reeking like a bin behind a chippy at high noon. Unity? Don't make me wretch. It's a lie spat through a coloniser's grin, all stiff upper lip and stolen spices. Assimilate, they croon, until your soul's a museum relic, until your tongue trips autonomy. Pays off. That's just a corpse in a moth-eaten Union Jack, wheezing Rule Britannia through lungs blackened by coal dust and nostalgia. Freedom? Harmony? Wake up, you daft sod. You're not choosing ideals. You're picking which plague to chug, typhoid or cholera. A pint of warm lager or a swig of Thames sludge. Esperanto, Christ alive, a linguistic lobotomy, a tongue scrubbed raw with bleach, stripped of history, of spit, of the grime that makes a language real. You want a universal language? That's just fascism in a lab coat, mate. A monoculture for the mind, a Tesco Value brand dystopia, where every thought's a cloned potato. But now worse. At least a desert's got rage. At least the dunes shift, scream, fight. Esperanto's a coffin, a dead thing in a cheap suit parading down Oxford Street like it's progress? Progress. That's your religion, innit? Bow to the algorithm, genuflect to the spreadsheet, Swap your dialects for data, your accents for ads. Unity is just the sound of a culture being pressure washed, scoured down to a bland beige pulp. Segregation? That's the wail of a bloke in a flat cap clutching his pint and his pork scratchings, too terrified to admit his tradition died with the mines. You want a metaphor? Fine. Integration's a chainsaw taken to an ancient oak. Look how tidy the park is now. Segregation's the same oak, left to rot in a cage. Tourists snapping photos of its heritage while beetles eat its heart. Either way, the tree's dead. Either way, you're just arguing over the epithet. Esperanto's the plastic form that you plant in its place. Language isn't a tool, it's a fucking Blackpool pleasure beach of prisons. All rusted rails and screaming toddlers, bolted together every time you spew a please or a sorry or a cheers, love, mama, mine, shame. You cradle some squalling infant and coo nursery rhymes. Congrats, you've just force-fed them your cult's Kool-Aid, brewed in a teapot stained with Empire's piss. You think enlightened? Let me flay your delusions raw. Teaching a kid to speak isn't kindness, it's grooming. Handing them a scalpel drenched in arsenic and calling it mother's milk. Every word they parrot, a chain, own, obey, apologize, drill it in before they're out of nappies, yeah? And you, oh, you think you're clever, you little anarchist prat, scribbling a cab on a bus stop in the exact cursive your year 3 teacher taught you? Your defund stinks of their boots' perfume. Even your rage is a scrib, penned by some dead Victorian tosser in a stuffy Oxford library. You're not rebelling, you're rehearsing. A puppet in a Punch and Judy show, thrashing in a plot line they wrote for you. We're not speaking, we're vomiting, retching up the rancid leftovers of 1,000 dead hypocrites, kings and priests, and mumsy bloggers, and calling it thought. Language doesn't spread, it metastasizes, crawls through schools and pubs and WhatsApp groups like a cancer chewing through brains till all that's left is mush. And morality? That's the scar it leaves, a jagged weeping gash across your skull, proof you let them carve you into a proper citizen and call civilized. Bullets. Civilized is a Primark blazer on a rotting corpse. Civilized is queuing politely for the apocalypse. Civilized is your nan tutting at immigrants while she votes Tory and microwaves a shepherd's pie. You want freedom? Too late. You're already fluent in your own chains. Value? Value is a greasy kebab shop lie, dripping with rancid garlic sauce and regret. A street preacher screech outside a Wetherspoons. A mam's hissed, say please or no pudding. Same cancerous hymn in it. One strangles you with a silk noose. Darling, it's tradition. The other with rusted council estate chains, but both reek of love gone off, like milk left in the sun. Turns survival into a circus act. Obey or die becomes manners matter, sweetheart. And you lap it up like a soggy rich tea biscuit dunked in cold tea. You wanna know why I puke every time I open my gob? 'Cause I can't scrap it off. This rant, these words, they're not rebellion. They're a fucking pantomime, sacrificing my sanity on the altar of the same system I'm trying to motto. Every syllable I spit to cursed morality, a confession. Proof I'm already hollowed out, a Tesco Value brand puppet wearing its own severed strings like a crown. A bent team lead from pastor's camp. There's no escape, no loophole, no mind the gap before the tube of doom crushes you. Just a cage, welded from your own bones, polished with your nan's brasso. We're not infected, we're the infection. Our breath stinks of it, stale lager and vape smoke. Our dreams ooze it, like the mystery sludge sipping from a bin behind the chippy. You think your rebellion's pure, that your rage is yours. So you'll find their grammar rotting in your marrow, their please and sorry wriggling in your veins like tapeworms. Civilization's just a scab we keep picking. And we're all just fleas on the queen's dead corgi.